Everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Way 3 News meteorologist Brian Good here. Very busy week in weather for us, and it really kicks off with some interesting stuff even here for this morning. Latest look at the temperature profile around Wave Country. Wide range, 50 into Seymour and Carrollton to the 60s itself. Look at the last 3 hours. You'll be able to see the surge of warmth that's been building into our southern counties, where we've got the warm front approaching, but also this meso low that really kicked in a lot of the warmth in our southern tier, and with that has come quite a bit of wind as well. We've had gusts 40 to over 50 miles per hour in some spots with this little surge that has been working its way to the east and now translating into southeast Kentucky. But right along where the heaviest of rain is coming down, that's where we're getting those gusts still close to 40 miles per hour in spots, and that's now moving in close to I-64 between Louisville and Lexington. The question now from here on out for today's setup is how much of this rain is going to build into the north as well, because the short range models, or at least the HRRR model, is trying to really build it into the north, into central Kentucky, and in a couple of hours. The in-house RPM model, not so much. So I think the models are overdoing the second surge so far. We'll watch it and trend it, but radar is not matching the models, and that's important because there is a chance for us to destabilize, certainly for the afternoon period, as we'll get some of this high-level cloud deck to thin out, and the low-level cloud deck will be moving out as well, allowing for filter sunshine, if not completely broken sky at times, and that ahead of this low spinning over northeast areas of Oklahoma could spark off some thunderstorms later today. The question with this setup is similar to the last one. Are we able to get any moisture in off the Gulf to feed into it and get those dew points to the level of producing thunderstorms and therefore severe weather? Because at the moment, they are certainly blocking that flow across the panhandle of Florida, where they're getting ready for severe weather once again in that area. So we'll see how much of that moisture flow can get in. It's only a narrow window here of opportunity for that moisture to funnel in along with the heating of the day. But there is that window of opportunity. It is there. And that's why they've issued a marginal risk for severe weather for our area until they more likely get a better handle. But if we end up getting those higher dew points and a little bit more sunshine, it wouldn't surprise me to see a slight risk get issued for this general area. That's certainly possible. Otherwise, the main action would be to our south. And then we'll get a break tomorrow, and then Wednesday, slight risk locally. We'll come back to that in a second. More of an issue in our southeast corner of the country there, but we'll examine Wednesday in a second. Let's talk about today. Here's the HRRR model showing this is the setup now moving through, and you see how it tries to pick up on the second surge of rain toward late morning, midday, but so far the radar has not matched that up. We'll monitor that. And then it does show us destabilizing enough that we then sort of get those cells popping on the radar, west of 65 initially, and then working their way in our area. But it doesn't look to be a major event, but there could be some damaging winds and a few warnings for that, and maybe some large hail in some cases. So we'll monitor it. The sounding does not necessarily show a huge tornado issue because the shear looks overall to be what we call unidirectional all the way up. So it is giving us, and again, it's also based on the idea we have rain at midday too, so keep that in mind. It's hard to trust a model that's not doing well now. Can't really put a lot of faith in it to the afternoon either. But we'll take this hour by hour. Just stay tuned for updates. Quiet weather tomorrow. Then we get into Wednesday. Wednesday, we get a warm surge early in the day. The question is, how open will this warm sector get for midday Wednesday into the afternoon? Because you see what happens. Another low. The low has varied a little bit on the models. This is a high-res NAM, taking it looks like right over southern areas of Indiana. The Euro and the Canadian, we're taking a little more over Kentucky, which would lessen our threat a bit. So still some disagreement on the actual track of that low, but in general, I think a track across what has been a popular one lately. Southern areas of Illinois and Indiana looks to be a little more likely. And we got to wait and see how much of the wind's back to this, because see how they get that pulling effect, because there could be a potential for some supercells to certainly ignite. This is going to be for Wednesday evening on this Futurecast radar from the NAM high-res. That potential is certainly there. And look at the warmth. I know it may be hard to see these numbers, but 60s and 70s being pulled in ahead of that, and then 30s on the back side of that. You know where that's going down the road. And quite a bit of wind, but again, the wind potential between the surface and aloft is what we need to watch, being the southeast section there of the low. When you look at the sounding from the NAM, it is a little bit alarming. It's got a southeast component and then going more west, southwest aloft, which is certainly a directional sheared environment. In fact, the actual shear itself is about 82 knots, which is scary. If you look at the NAM, that's scary winds. I mean, that's quite a bit of activity on the radar for us. It'll keep us busy. That's an enhanced area, if not close to a moderate risk kind of a scenario if you look at the NAM. GFS, not as aggressive. And the NAM has a tendency to be too aggressive. Keep that in mind. It's a bit drier of a profile, and it's not as abrupt with the directional shear. Some speed shear, but not as much directional shear. Speed shear is still in there, though, about 60 knots, which is still pretty impressive. So, a lot of questions on this, guys. We got a lot to get through between now and Wednesday, though, that could certainly change the setup for Wednesday, but just kind of give you guys a heads up. We're watching it. Then we get the low to move in, and then we get to the colder side of things. We were talking about this last week. It does appear to could be enough a thick layer now for cold air to get some snowflakes to make it to the ground. I think it's going to be a mix of snow and or sleet, kind of a sloppy mess here. But it's not going to cause any problems. It's just going to be a horrible reminder that winter wasn't long ago, and it's going to be more of an issue for snowflakes in Indiana and Ohio than it will be into wave country. But the forecast numbers that say 2 in the afternoon, it's got us at 40 degrees. It may be too cold, but I don't think it's going to be far off from that either. But the problem is you add in the wind factor, and it's giving us wind chills. It's saying 20s and 30s. I think wind chills in the 30s certainly could be in the area Thursday. Man, that's just gonna bite. But the good news is we'll see some effect of that still Friday. But for the weekend, we reverse course, and then big warm up comes back, which then starts the cycle all over again when it comes to thunderstorms. So buckle up, guys. It's a busy period for us.